Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess.
And I'm Dan.
And today, finally, we're going to be doing our review video of our last trip. So if you want to hear all about our No Parks Disney Vacation, stick around because that's coming up right now. Hey Planny fam, welcome back to my channel. And like I said, today we are finally going to be discussing our No Park Disney Vacation that we took back in April. I know it has been way too long. This video was supposed to go up a long time ago, but life, y'all, just happens. So we're gonna be touching upon a few things today in this video. We're gonna talk about the resort that we stayed at. We did stay off property for this trip, and we're gonna talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. We're going to talk about doing a Disney vacation without going into any of the Disney parks. So just a few things we're going to touch upon, and then we're going to go into detail about some stuff too. So are you ready?
Let's do this.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the actual resort that we stayed at. We did drive down again. It this time went much better, besides traffic. We stayed at a hotel right outside of Disney called Cypress Point. And it's actually shared with a couple of other resorts around the Orlando area. They are a timeshare property. However, I think you can actually rent it out as like a normal hotel room too. Like if you go on to Groupon or Booking.com, I do believe it's available on there too. So you don't have to have a timeshare to stay here. However, we have family that own within these properties, and they said, hey, you want to go again? It's on us. So we were like, let's do it. I was missing Disney so much. Dan thought I was insane. We really couldn't afford this trip. And I was like, there's got to be a way that we can take advantage of this. The kids are going to be on spring break without like spending a ton of money. And I was just like, hey, how about we go down there and just not go into the parks? And we find stuff to do around the resorts and go to Disney Springs and that kind of thing. So we're going to talk about the hotel, Cypress Point. So they also share another resort right next door. There's like two resorts in one, kind of. Is that how you?
Yeah, it was the Cypress Point, and the other one, I forget the name of the other one, but it was literally 2 seconds across the road.
Yeah, so they share the same, like whoever owns them, the same person owns both properties. And if you stay at one, you can actually go over to the other one and use their amenities and things like that.
They had a bigger pool over there, which we didn't get to see.
They didn't have a bigger pool.
Yes, they did.
They had the two smaller ones right next to the mini golf courses.
Oh, okay. So they had those, and the mini golf, of course.
Yep, and then I think they had
the cornhole, and then table tennis.
And there was like a bar, like a pool bar over there.
Yep.
That side of the resort had like a lot of fun stuff for the kids. We used the mini golf course twice.
Yep.
That was really fun. Was it 9 holes?
It was 18.
It was 18?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Anyway,
very small, but
yeah, but the twins loved the mini golf course, and this was all free. This was all included in the stay. No extra costs for any of this. You could use their pools too if you wanted. However, the pool that was on our side, I actually liked that one a lot better. It was really nice. They used to have like a water feature that sprayed, but it wasn't working at the time we were there.
It was down for refurb.
Yeah, they were working on the plumbing, I think.
But it was an electrical problem.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so I think it's probably back up and running now. So if you were to go there, you'd probably be able to see it. But it's got this like really cool like little, I don't know, what you call it, like a cave or a hideaway when you swam around underneath the little cove.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was just like, it was really nice, and it kind of was like in the shape of like a rainbow, so it had like a fun little shape to it. It was just a really cute pool area. There was tons of like patio tables and lounge chairs and places for you to sit. They even had cabanas if you were like a prime timeshare.
It was for VIP.
Yeah, like VIP timeshare clients. So that was really cool. They had a playground.
Which the kids didn't even use.
They went on a little bit when we toured the resort. But it was a really nice area. Like they had fake grass down, and there was bathrooms and just a really nice outdoor area compared to their sister resort that we stayed at the previous year. If you guys did not see that review video, I will link it down below. You can check it out. That resort had 2 slides in the pool, but other than that, it was kind of just meh.
Well, the first resort
Yeah.
had 1 slide.
No, there was two. There was the one with the tunnel and then the
Oh,
open one.
okay, yep.
Yeah. We liked the slides. Like that part was fun. The kids liked that. But I feel like the area and the location of that one just wasn't as good. That one was further away. It also was like the parking lot and the road. You know what I mean? Whereas the Cypress Point resort is kind of like hidden away.
It was offset
Yeah,
from
and
the rest of
like the main road. It was
I-4
yeah.
and stuff.
And then like you go in and it's like really pretty grounds. There's like lots of trees and it was just a really pretty resort. It was really nice.
It looked more like more tropical than just
yeah,
an actual like
building.
hotel.
Yeah.
Like, because the other one just looked like it was just put there for no reason.
Yeah. I don't know if this is maybe like a bad comparison and Dan can kind of like correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like if you kind of think about if you've ever been to Caribbean Beach Resort and you enter in and you're kind of walking the grounds, there's lots of palm trees and bushes and like just lots of greenery around. It kind of felt like that a little bit in certain spots, especially when you're like entering in the resort itself.
Yeah.
So that made it feel more of like a vacation, I would say.
Another one of the amenities of this hotel is like they actually had like a small
They had a small cafe. It was like a cafe store.
and they had a coffee station that had Starbucks flavoring when it was offering Starbucks coffee, which is not the same,
there was
which made no sense.
There was a sign out front that said Starbucks coffee, and we thought that they had like maybe like a barista in there that had some coffee that you could get. Like I thought it was like a mini Starbucks inside.
So that kind of knocked down points for me for that.
Yeah, it literally was just like a one of those fridges with some Starbucks like cans and
the flavored
bottles.
creams that you can buy at like Target.
The flavored coffees,
whatnot.
yeah. So it didn't really technically. I mean, I guess technically they did have Starbucks, but not the real thing.
Not the real thing.
So don't let that fool you if you look into that. We did a video touring this resort. I will link that down below for you guys as well if you didn't see that, and I show the little Starbucks sign so you'll know.
Yeah. So I don't recommend going to that little cafe.
The cafe was probably the worst part of the resort. Yeah. It looked like a little convenience store. They did have like a kitchen in the back, but honestly, like if we're being like real with y'all, it smelled like things were going bad in there. Yeah. It just wasn't very sanitary. We did try food from there because one, we were hungry and it was late. And we were kind of like just in a rush. And two, I felt like we should try it since we were there. We got the pizza. It was not
overpriced and terrible.
Yeah, it just wasn't good. So we would not recommend it. If you need, like, say you forgot toothpaste or you need medicine or anything like that,
fine.
You can grab all that in there. That's fine. But we wouldn't recommend the food.
No.
The food from there.
Although Aiden said that he had a breakfast sandwich from there, and he said that was good.
Oh yeah, he did get one of the bacon. Was it bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel?
Bacon, egg, and cheese on everything bagel.
Everything was cooked fresh. It's just it wasn't. Something was off. But he really liked his breakfast sandwich. He did.
So I guess we can take that as a positive from that. But everything else, I don't recommend.
As far as the cafe, is concerned, we would just steer clear of that portion. I do not know. I don't think there's food at the resort next door. I think it was just that tiki bar area.
They had that like where the mini golf was. They had that whole building where you got the club from. There was food inside there.
Oh, okay. So we didn't try that. So maybe go over there. Maybe it's a little bit better.
Probably, I don't know.
A little bit better over there. We never tried it because we were on the other side. So I'm gonna talk about the room for a minute. The room was beautiful. Honestly, it felt like a little apartment.
It was good and it was very decent in size.
Yeah, the size was wonderful. I did a whole tour. All these videos are going to be linked for you guys down below. You can go check it out. We did a full tour of it. You walk in and there's like a little hallway and there's a bathroom and a bedroom to your left with the laundry, and then you walk into the main area where there's like the kitchen area and then a huge living dining room space. And then there was the master bedroom, which was also huge. And the master bedroom also had another bathroom off of it. It had a dual sink, I don't know if I'd call it a jacuzzi tub. It was more like an oversized soaker tub, and then a shower. One thing we didn't realize when we had booked the room is we thought it was going to have 2 twin beds in the second room, just like the other resort had previously.
Right.
But it didn't. They had the one bed in the spare room. It had the master bed, which was a king size bed, and then the bedroom, the couch in the living room pulled out into a queen size bed as well. We made it work. It was difficult because my daughter moves around like a banshee, and just no one was comfortable sleeping with her. But we made it work. I think that the pull-out sofa was meh. The kids were kind of like, it's not the most comfortable.
Because on the way down, they had already slept on one at the hotel that we stayed in Virginia.
Well, that one was really bad.
Eden and Wyatt did that,
Yeah.
and they absolutely hated it.
Yeah. So not the best. However, it was a good size and it worked. We made it work. It wouldn't be something that would deter us away from doing it again. We thought that the room was great. We liked the kitchen. They supplied you with the things that you needed more so than the other one did.
Right.
I felt like we had more stuff there.
You still had to, if you were going to eat at that hotel, you would still have to go out and buy your own groceries.
Yes, so it is like an apartment. So it is like if you're renting a DVC or a timeshare where you need to bring food in to cook. Unless you're going to eat out for every meal, you are going to have to go and get some food or order Amazon and have it delivered. But they supplied you with pots, pans, plates, forks, all of those things. You didn't have to bring any of that. They had all of that there for you. So we really liked the room. I would say overall, just for like the room specifically, I would probably give it like, I don't know, between a 6.5 and a 7 out of 10. I definitely feel like it does need a few updates, but it was very clean. We didn't have any problems with ants like we did at the last one. And I just liked the overall aesthetic of it. There was a balcony as well off of the master. I really liked the balcony because we had a corner unit. However, we were right above the pool filtration system. So it did get kind of loud and it was tough to sit out there. Sorry about the sound. Our room is right next to the pool filtration system.
But luckily, they shut that thing off around 10:30, 11 o'clock so people can sleep.
Yeah, it didn't run all night long, but they do turn it on first thing in the morning because they got to get the pool going. The pool there, y'all, is open so long. I loved that. I think they opened it at like 7 or 8 in the morning, and then they didn't deter you away until I think 11 o'clock?
11:30, somewhere in there. Yeah, so it's open for 12 hours.
Yeah, unlike the Disney resorts pools who don't open their pool until 10, and then I think they close at 10.
Yeah.
So you have a lot more time, which we really liked. We took advantage of it. We did a late night swim one day, and we went into the pool early in the morning once. It was a great way to fit more stuff in. It was just really nice. I liked that feature.
The kids enjoyed that pool.
Yeah,
I feel, especially the twins, because they were finally starting to swim on their own.
I know, we were so excited. Aiden and Skylar were helping the twins learn how to swim a little bit more with the pool, and there was like a little ledge in the pool, and they were jumping off and going under for like the first time ever. Like, it was such a core memory for me. Like, all these little things that happened while we're in Disney or in Florida, just like, I don't know, just makes it that much more special. I just was so proud of them that trip for finally being able to do that. So yeah, they loved the pool. So do you have like an overall favorite thing from the resort?
From that resort?
Yeah.
From staying off property, out of the two that we've stayed at, this one just takes the cake compared to the other one because there's better amenities in there aside from the cafe. And the room was just 10 times nicer.
Yeah. So we both really liked the room. We're going to talk about this more in a minute, but I really loved the location. For being an off-property resort, I could not believe how close we were to Disney.
And Universal. I think
Universal was only like
that.
15, no.
No.
Universal was like 15, 20 minutes. You could still get there on the back roads. You didn't have to worry about messing with the traffic on the highway. But just to kind of give you guys like a quick little description, if I can try. You come out of the resort, you take a right, and then at the light, you take a left. And then you're literally only going like 3 sets of lights, I think. And the entrance to Disney, towards Disney Springs, is right there on your right-hand side.
It's right off of,
is
that the International?
It might be, I forget the name of the road that Disney Springs is on with all the Disney Springs resorts, but it's right there. And I don't know, 3 minutes? It had to have been 3 to 5 minutes. Like, it was really close. and it only took us maybe 8-9 minutes to get to the Poly.
Yeah,
So
really not that bad.
it really was not bad. It was actually a lot closer, I feel like, than the other resort was.
Yeah.
The other one was still close, but it was a little bit further. Like you had to get on the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-4 is a pain.
So the location for me, and just I thought the grounds were really nice. Like
Yeah.
for being an off-property resort, they really did take care of it, and that's what made it nice for me. That's what made it enjoyable for myself.
It's just like, I guess it made me feel more relaxed.
Yeah, it was a very relaxing resort. It was.
I'm a bit of a tense person.
Yeah, you can be.
In a
I
way.
can be too, but yeah, it's nice to be able to go to a place that you're staying at temporarily and feel like you can kind of just like, you know, I'm at home, you know what I mean, that kind of thing, which we don't usually get if we're not on Disney property. So we also haven't tried like a ton of off-property resorts. I would like to try a couple of the Disney Springs resorts at some point. But for the ones that we have stayed at so far, I have stayed at either one or two with my dad as well growing up, and this one is by far my favorite.
I would like to try the Drury?
The Drury looks really
that
nice.
That one looks pretty good.
Yeah, they have like food included and all kinds of stuff. So yeah. So one thing that this hotel did not have is transportation to the parks. And I swear I'm probably gonna go blue in the face talking about this with y'all because I talk about it in so many of our videos. But there's no transportation to the parks, and it was a lot having to drive to Disney Springs, get on the bus, either go to a resort or get to the next form of transportation. It's a lot. It takes up a lot of time in the day, and we both just wish there was some form of transportation.
It's exhausting when you have 4 kids that you have to have in tow.
Yeah.
If it's just the 2 of us, it'd be different.
It wouldn't have been as bad, but it still takes up a lot of time.
Right.
Regardless of how many are with us.
Yeah.
So, of us there are. So I feel like because of the proximity of how close this resort is, they really should have some form of transportation because it's not far.
It's not that high end of a resort to
I
have
know.
that kind of.
I know. But you hear about other off-property resorts that have like timed and scheduled transportation, which I hate that too. So again, this just kind of goes back to the fact of why in the end, if we can, we'll probably just continue to use a Disney resort, even if it's just one of the all-stars, because you have that constant transportation.
It's just a perfect flow.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
It's one less thing to have to worry about, or I shouldn't even say worry, because we weren't worried about it. We figured it out fine. Like, we know the parks and the transportation like the back of our hand. That wasn't the problem. The problem was how much time it ate away in the day. I think that's my biggest thing. So
especially trying to get to the Skyliner.
yeah, like you have to drive to Disney Springs, and we love the fact that Disney Springs parking is free. We used it all week long. It was wonderful. So we're not complaining about that at all. It's a wonderful thing that Disney does provide for not only their on-property guests, but people locals, you know what I mean, who can just go into Disney Springs and not have to worry about paying for parking. Whereas Universal, you have to pay $30 every time you park in the garage. So it's just, you got to get there, park, go through security, get downstairs, go to the bus transportation center, then get on the bus to, I don't know, say we're going to Caribbean Beach. That's a doozy because Caribbean Beach is huge. Go to Caribbean Beach, and then you have to get dropped off at one of the sections that's closest to the Skyliner, walk over to the Skyliner because you still have to walk there, and then go to wherever it is that you're going to. It's a lot. It takes time. It takes a lot of time to do all that. So that's probably the biggest qualm I have with this resort and any off-property resort, really.
Pretty much.
Yeah. One other thing I wasn't a fan of there is like the way that the parking, like when you came downstairs, like just there wasn't a lot of parking in our area.
Well, that resort was heavily occupied.
Yeah.
So like
The
timing of like trying to get a parking spot from other people, was off.
The section where we were in was nice because we were right next to the pool. So like that aspect was good. However, on the front side where you park, where our room was, there wasn't a lot of parking available. And a lot of times we did get lucky. We didn't have too many issues.
Right.
But there was a couple of times where I had to drive around and then go and then like, okay, now there's a spot. We just had to play with it a little bit. So that was kind of annoying too.
I mean, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't.
It's only like a 5-second walk.
Yeah. I was just making another small little tidbit point for people who might think that that's a big deal. I just want to point it out. So yeah, that was the resort, Cypress Point. If you guys are interested, make sure you go check it out. Thanks again to my cousins for lending it to us. We always are super appreciative of that. It's been a wonderful thing. And yeah, so now that we've kind of talked about that, we're going to transition into just talking about staying, like doing a Disney vacation without going into the parks. All right, so as I said, we did not go into the parks this trip. It was tough. Like
for me especially.
Yeah, Dan.
I like the Disney parks.
Dan's like all about the parks. Me, I went into this vacation thinking this is going to be a nice, low-key, relaxing, chill vacation. And I feel like we did need that. Like, I feel like it was nice to not have to worry about booking dining reservations. Sorry, y'all, got distracted. But I think I was just basically talking about how I felt like we really needed a trip that wasn't with all the chaos that goes into a real Disney vacation when you're in the parks, when it comes to Genie Plus and booking lightning lanes and booking all of these things and being on your phone all the time. Like, yes, I recorded, but I felt like it was a lot less stressful. Like, we just needed a low-key downtime type of trip while still being in our favorite place. Like, that was kind of like my ultimate goal for this trip. And I think it was harder for Dan to see that.
Yeah, because I don't know, I like to be on the go.
But I think you need the downtime sometimes.
I don't know how to relax.
I know you don't.
That's because of my job.
He really doesn't. And I'm kind of like, I try to get him to like, not relax as in like high anxiety, that's me, but relax as in like physically, like just chill.
He's on the go constantly.
He is. He's just always moving. He doesn't know how to sit still. I still plan things, and we're going to talk about that with y'all. I just felt like this was a nice change of pace. And I would totally do another trip like this in a heartbeat, again, if it's on Disney property.
Without the driving.
Yeah, and we would fly. Like, I think we did it for too long. We did have a full 7 days. We were gonna go for 5, and then we found out we had their room for an extra 2 days.
Which is fine. It was nice to be away.
Yeah, so we were like, we have it. We might as well just stay. So we did, which was great. It put a little glitch in plans financially, but we figured it out. We made it work. But for not being in the parks, it was a really long time. And I feel like if we were to do like a no parks trip like that again, I would shorten it
By a day or so.
Maybe like 2 days. I think like 4 days would probably be like a nice vibe for that. And then stay on Disney property.
Mm-hmm.
I think like those would be the 2 biggest things I would change. But let's talk about some of the things we did during this trip, because we did a lot. We got a lot done.
Which kind of surprised me, because I didn't think we were going to get a lot done.
Yeah.
For financial issues.
You're welcome.
And whatnot.
I'm the planner.
No comment.
Okay, so what was some of your favorite things we did during this trip?
Like touring around the Disney property without being in the parks, it was actually not that bad. Checking out some of the resorts that I wanted to stay at.
Yeah, we went to a lot of resorts. It was so fun. Like, we probably hit, oh my gosh, we hit at least, 5 or 6? We did a lot.
Most of them, yes.
We didn't go to all of them.
The first night we got down there, we had dinner at Kona Cafe.
At the Polynesian. We would not recommend that.
It was okay. For me, it was all right.
I wouldn't recommend it as late as we had it.
No.
I think we were one of the last reservations. And
prime dinner times when to go.
Or even maybe 4, 3, 4 o'clock, right before the dinner rush.
We would have had that. If we got there on time, but.
Well, no, we still had a 9 o'clock reservation regardless. I had made a late reservation because we were driving, and I feel like, because we were one of the last like the last groups, and there was a lot of us. There's six
The
of
food,
us.
it was subpar.
It was
food.
just subpar. I think that they were just trying to like bang it out so that way they could clean up and get the place closed for the night. And it's just one of those things where it wasn't that great. I have been before in the past, and my sushi the first time I went was way better. But the kids loved. They have like a kids sushi platter. They do like kids version stuff.
The twins
loved it. And I think did Skylar like her food, or she said it was okay. She said it was okay.
You know how she is.
But they have gluten-free food there. I've heard that the breakfast is really good there. So I wouldn't mind going back and trying it again for breakfast, but we just love the Poly.
Mm-hmm.
We fell in love with it during our first couples trip. And
that'll be a dream stay when there's no kids in there.
and then I went back with my mom and my aunt during my Christmas trip. That vlog, I'll link it down below for y'all, and the couples one. I'll just link it all. Yeah, so I've been a few times now, and just stepping into that resort, it's just so lovely. Like the only word I can think of is lovely.
It's Disney World's version of Aulani.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So if I'm never gonna get to go to Hawaii, God bless them for what's going on down there right now.
Oh yeah. We're thinking of y'all.
But the Polynesian is like one of my top want stays.
Yeah. It's definitely one of our dream vacations. We also are huge Magic Kingdom people, and I just love that you can walk outside and see Magic Kingdom. It really is. It's gorgeous. You can see Grand Floridian. It's just a beautiful
The plus
resort.
side for that is being able to watch the fireworks from the beach.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's off the pool.
Yeah. So speaking of that was one of my favorite things that we did this trip. We hit a snag and we missed it the first night because we got in so late because of the traffic.
Well, we caught some of it walking into the
But it wasn't
resort
the
for
same.
dinner. I know, but still.
However, we ended up going back and catching the full thing from the beach with the Dole Whip in our hand. And it really just was one of my favorite things. The twins loved it. We were walking out and Colin was like, I want to watch it again. It was just so sweet.
I want to watch it again.
I know, huh? And it was our very first time seeing Happily Ever After too. We're going to see it for the first time in the park soon.
September.
More about that trip to come. So we're really excited about that, but I am blown away by that fireworks show, and that was just from watching it from the Polynesian. So I can only imagine what it's like watching it.
It'll be the first time that the world sees me cry. Maybe.
I'm always crying, y'all.
But then again, when we went back in October, I got emotional because I had both the kids.
Yeah. I was crying during that. That was during, so we saw Enchantment with the kids, and that was the kids' first fireworks show ever at Magic
Disney,
Kingdom.
yep.
And I know that was a very controversial topic with that fireworks show, but it has a very special place in our heart just because of how we shared it with the kids, and it was the twins' first trip, and it was just a whole thing. So that fireworks show for us is actually very special. However, I know that Happily Ever After, just the theatrics of it is way more
It's more of
intricate.
The show is more spectacular.
And better music. I will agree with that. I do think the music was a lot better with the Happily Ever After.
It just hits different.
Yeah. That was definitely one of my favorite things. What were some of the other resorts we went to? We went to Riviera. That's a dream stay for me.
Well, we just went to Riviera for the gift shop.
Yeah, I wanted to walk inside.
The Skyliner.
I wanted to walk in from the front, and I wanted to see the inside of the main lobby. And we went into the gift shop because I wanted to look at the bag, and I grabbed a magnet. I don't know. I walked inside there. There's just something about that resort that gives me the feels. So that's another dream resort stay of mine. So that one in the Poly. We went to Saratoga Springs for breakfast one morning. That resort is massive. Where else did we go?
We did the Grand Floridian for breakfast.
Oh yeah, we went to the Grand Floridian at the Grand Floridian Cafe. There's a video for that. I'll link that. Was that your first time stepping in there? That was your first time stepping in the Grand. What'd you think?
It's a beautiful resort.
It's gorgeous.
Too much white, but still beautiful.
Oh, see, I love it. It's fancy.
Because it's for
fancy.
people getting married in Disney.
It is a beautiful property. And I have this goal of staying at every single resort at some point throughout my life. So hopefully one day.
That's another one for me, another top.
That might be like a one night type of thing.
Probably.
But that's okay. Oh, we went to Boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually, a little left to be desired. I thought I was gonna love it. That one was probably like the most disappointing one, I think, out of all the ones we went to.
It's almost like being on Coney Island in New York.
Here, let me make a point here, y'all, and that is that we originally were supposed to go there at night when it's hopping and there's stuff going on, but just the way that the weather was, it just didn't pan out that way. But we still wanted to see it, so we ended up going during like a time where it was kind of like rainy and gloomy out, and it wasn't busy there. But I still expected more ambiance. I don't know. And then
It's just not as lively during the day than it
it's
would
not
be
that.
at night.
It's just like even like the aesthetic and the look. I
Right.
think I expected more,
It looks better at night.
and it just didn't appease me the way I thought it would.
Because I would have liked to. I don't know if I want to stay there after.
Well, I still like the transportation aspect of it, because if you stay at the boardwalk, you have the Skyliner and the boat. The buses, they
Not so much.
share a resort. They share the boardwalk, yacht,
Club.
and beach club all share the same bus route, and especially with 6 people,
We experienced that
that was
through.
oh my gosh, it was bad. It takes a long time to wait for the bus, and then it's slammed. We went to Yacht and Beach Club too. That's when we took the bus back to Disney Springs, and it was
We waited for about
a
45
while.
minutes.
It had to have been like a half hour, and then when it got to us, it was packed. So like some of the kids, like the older kids, had to sit in a different spot than us. It just wasn't. It's not ideal. So that kind of.
I mean, it's not that bad. You won't lose your kids on a bus like
No,
that.
I know, but I'm just trying to think of like all the pointers that we took away from going to all these resorts. I would say my other favorite thing that we did, we also went to Port Orleans Riverside, so that's another resort. We did so many resorts. We went to Port Orleans Riverside, and we decided to do the Surrey bikes.
Yes.
So fun, y'all. It's a workout. Another video I'll link below. It's a workout for sure, but we had so much fun doing that together. Like we were able to all do one bike, so the big kids were behind us pedaling with us, and then there's like a little seat in the front where the twins got to sit, and the twins had the job of ringing the bell whenever we got near people. And we didn't go from Port Orleans to French Quarter. We just decided to do 2 wraps around Riverside, because Riverside's a decent sized resort,
Yeah.
and it goes all around the lake, and then it goes over the bridge. It was just so fun. You got to see the whole property. It made me interested in Riverside.
Riverside. I've actually stayed at Riverside. That
Yeah.
is a beautiful resort.
I want to stay there now.
It's like from like that one compared to French Quarter. French Quarter is much nicer because it's quiet.
It's quiet and smaller.
Riverside is geared more towards families with kids.
Yeah. I feel like Disney did such a great job with the Port Orleans, both of them, like Riverside and French Quarter. I'm also biased. I love Princess and the Frog. Tiana's my favorite princess, but I love the fact that because they're technically sister resorts, you can share amenities with those 2 properties. So like if you stay at French Quarter, you can go use the Riverside pool. Or if you stay at Riverside, you can still go use the French Quarter pool. And you can use like obviously you can use the food cafeterias. You can do that anywhere, anytime. But they did such a good job with both of those properties, and they've got the boat. For me, I think those are probably my favorite moderate resort. That's my favorite moderate resort out of all the moderates there are.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we had so much fun doing the Surrey Bites. That was definitely another top thing for me. So, watching Happily Ever After at the Polynesian, doing the Surrey Bikes, and guys, I love the Skyliner. I could ride that thing
It's fun.
all day. So, I don't know, did you have any other like favorite things? You really liked Grand Floridian Cafe.
Yeah. The breakfast that I had brunch rather.
Well, hold
Lunch.
on. Lunch.
Excuse me. The steak and eggs I had, it was good.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I ever had like a full-blown steak on Disney property, and it was actually cooked very well.
Yeah.
They cook it the way you want it.
Yeah. That was the first time that we had ever eaten at Grand Floridian Cafe. And I would like to say we've eaten at a decent amount of restaurants. We haven't eaten at all of them, but that was probably one of my favorite meals I've had.
For a sit-down meal, yes.
I
For
had the chicken and
breakfast.
waffles. It was amazing. My daughter she wanted chicken and waffles so badly, but they didn't have gluten-free chicken on the menu. So we were talking to the waitress about it, and she actually went back and talked to the chef, and he was able to make her gluten-free chicken with gluten-free waffles, and she was able to have chicken and waffles too, and she was so excited about that.
Props to the Disney company for
For the
doing
grant-
stuff,
well,
accommodating to their guests.
We have had we've always had decent service when it comes to Skylar and them accommodating her celiacs, but there have been a couple of restaurants that have really done wonderful things for her.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Floridian Cafe being one of them.
And T-Rex.
T-Rex
Disney
did great
Springs.
for her,
Yep.
and then Chef Mickey's did
Yep.
wonderful for her too. So we've definitely had some good, some over the top, better than good experiences for her. And I would definitely say Grand Floridian Cafe was one of those. And it's just really pretty in there.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So no Disney park trip must-dos. I just want to touch upon a couple of things with you guys. What we would recommend if you try to do a trip like this, something that makes you feel like you're still encapsulated by the Disney magic. My first tip would definitely be the Skyliner and the boats. Use the Disney transportation.
If you can.
If you can. It makes it feel like you're there still, and it almost gives you the feel of you're on a ride. I know we talked about how it can be kind of difficult to go over to Disney Springs and get the bus to wherever you need to be as far as time consuming is concerned. But one of the trips that we did, we took the Disney Springs Skyliner over to I think we took it to Riviera, and then we took the Skyliner from Riviera all the way down to Pop Century and Art of Animation, and we hung out around there a little bit, and then we took the Skyliner back, and then there was another day we took it to Hollywood Studios and got on the friendship boats.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something about using those two forms of transportation that makes it so nice. We took the Sassagoula float boats back to Disney Springs when we went to French Quarter for beignets. Sassagoula. We went to Sassagoula for breakfast. We took the boat back.
Was that with that friendship boat driver?
Yes,
Singing?
he was so good. I'll put a clip in so you guys can see it right now.
Somebody fends up. Okay. Unexpectedly. There you go. I heard it. Somebody said. Take a look around that my great big hole. Honeybees are buzzing in the trees, making honey just for me. Where I want to be when they're Riley and Dominic and Addison Dog. Walking around on those, what do you call them? Feet. That's what you call them.
But yeah, he was so great. It's cast members like him, and I wish I remembered his name, but it's cast members like him that really make these trips that much extra special. It's just that little bit of extra pixie dust. It really does add to it. But I would say a definite must-do would be to do the boats and the Skyliner. Even if you only do it one time,
Mm-hmm.
just it adds that little bit of magic. What would be one of your must-dos that you would love to do again, that you would recommend to somebody else that we did that wasn't in
The Surrey bikes.
the Surrey bikes?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get the Surrey bikes at other resorts. You don't have to go to Riverside. That was just because we were doing Port Orleans Riverside and the beignets.
I know the Boardwalk has them.
Yep.
And obviously Riverside and French Quarter.
I want to say,
I think that's it.
is that
And
it?
possibly
I
the
thought
yacht
that was-
and maybe Yacht Club, I think, and Beach Club.
Well, the Surrey bikes from the
Boardwalk.
boardwalk go all
Okay.
around Beach Club and Yacht Club. So you have that whole thing. I have heard that trek is a lot more difficult than the Riverside one. So if it's your first time, I would recommend doing Riverside because it is a workout. It's
Because you
it is a lot of work.
partially go over the Seven Seas Lagoon.
Yeah.
The
the boardwalk.
Riverside.
Oh, the Riverside one, yeah. So yeah, I would recommend that one first. But if you want the views of boardwalk, yacht club, and swimming, listen to me, and seeing that whole view and touring those resorts, I would recommend that. And it wasn't that expensive. It was only
$22
$20 for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So 30 minutes will get you 2 rounds around Riverside, or 1 full round going from Riverside to French Quarter and back. They did have longer times. It wasn't that expensive. I think for an hour it was only like $40.
$45.
Yeah, so like if you wanted to do an hour, you can, and it's really still not that bad. But we were, it was our first time doing it. I don't think I wanted to bike a whole hour. Plus, we had a lot of other things to do, but
Yeah.
I think that's a great recommendation. Definitely another must do. I think for me, another recommendation for must do's, just in general, take advantage of Disney Springs, y'all. It's free to get in, free to park. There's so many things you can do there.
A lot of shopping.
A lot of shopping, a lot of food, and you can do it affordably. If you're on a budget, there is a way to do it. There's lots of little quick service areas. You can get Dole Whip there. Buy yourself an ornament at the Christmas shop if you just want one little souvenir to bring back with you. There is ways to do it.
Magnets.
Magnets. Yes, I love magnets. We love magnets. We collect them. I'm always trying to get some. I'm mad at myself that I forgot to get one from Riverside.
That's okay.
So we'll have to do that another time. But yeah, that would be another one of my must-dos.
Oh, the monorail.
Oh yeah, the monorail.
Can't forget the
I'm so
monorail.
sorry, y'all. I forgot about the monorail. Here I'm talking about the boats and the Skyliner, and totally forgot the
I
monorail.
think we only did the monorail once.
We did it
twice,
once. I think we did it once, but take the loop. Do it. Get on the monorail. Again, another form of transportation that feels like a ride. Oh, and bonus, for getting on the monorail, you kind of get to go to Magic Kingdom. Kind of.
No, Epcot, because it drives through Epcot.
Okay, so he says Epcot, I say Magic Kingdom. Let's just call it even and
Because
say both.
you go right over the top of that new Moana thing that's going.
Yeah.
So you're in the park for a minute.
So when you get the bus from Disney Springs, well, you have to go to a resort. But then when you get to Magic Kingdom, before you get on the monorail, you have to go through security. And when you go through security, you're at the train entrance of Magic Kingdom, and you can take some pictures. We got to see the new 100 sign. It was a little bit of a tease. It was hard. But I also loved it because I was like, I got to go to Magic Kingdom, even though technically I really didn't. And then you get on the monorail and you have that loop around Seven Seas Lagoon that feels like a ride. And like Dan said too, if you take it through to Epcot and get on the Epcot line, then you can go through.
It's just a bird's eye
Epcot
view
too.
of being in the park
Yeah.
for a minute.
Yeah, so take advantage of those things that will give you those feelings because you're gonna want them, especially if you're huge Disney adults like us. It makes the trip that much more magical. All right, so now that we've kind of talked about all of that, we're gonna wrap this up with our top tips for staying off Disney property and doing like a Disney vacation that way. And, would we recommend it? Would we do it again personally? That kind of thing. One of my top tips for staying off property would be if you fly, make sure you have a car. Rent a car. If you're not driving down like we did, get a rental because you're going to want to be able to have the convenience of driving to Disney Springs and parking there and not having to worry about paying for an Uber or... obviously you can do those things, but it will probably be more cost effective to just get a rental car, I think. And also, if you want to go somewhere that's not in Disney, if you maybe want to go somewhere that's off of Disney property, maybe you want to go over to Universal, maybe you want to go to SeaWorld, maybe you want to go down to the Character Warehouse, anything like that, you're going to want to have a car. So that would be one of my top tips is if you're not driving, make sure you get some kind of vehicle that you can use around while you're there. Also too, if you do book a reservation at any of the Disney resorts, you can park in their parking lot for free with a guaranteed reservation. So you don't have to worry about doing the whole drive to Disney Springs, get on that bus, that kind of thing. So that's
only if you have dinner reservations.
That's what I just said. If you have a dinner or a breakfast reservation,
Okay.
yeah.
It's much more affordable to stay off property if you have a big family.
Yeah, so if you want to save money, I would definitely look around at some of the resorts that are close by, like in proximity. You still want to be close. But this way, you can get suites in larger rooms that can sleep more of you.
Because we all know that the Disney sometimes breaks the bank, but...
It's expensive.
I know.
Another tip that I would probably have for staying off property would be to try and find a resort that has amenities still. I think that was one of my big takeaways from this trip. When we stayed at the first timeshare property a couple years ago, there was like no amenities. There was nothing. It literally was just the pool and the room and the lobby. That was it. This resort had the mini golf, the extra pools, the cafe, even though it wasn't that great, it was there. Oh, it had like the games outside at the other resort, the tiki bar. It had the playground. There was just a lot of things to do at the resort, which made it like, okay, let's have a resort morning or a resort afternoon.
It was more vacationing.
Yeah. So that would be one of my biggest tips is if you're going to stay off property, find a resort that still has amenities, whether that's food being included, a really nice pool, a comfortable like large space. You know, like we talked about earlier, the room was just very spacious. Those types of amenities. Ours had mini golf. Maybe yours will have like giant checkerboard and chess outside. Maybe yours will have a s'mores night like Disney does. Any type of amenity that you can find. Try to find a resort that has extras because Disney is all about the extras. So having the extras where you are kind of makes you feel like that Disney feeling, I feel like. Another top tip I would have too, and this might be my final one, is book at least one Disney sit-down meal and then go to at least one resort to tour it and have a quick service meal there. I think if you're someone like us who really loves being enthralled in the magic and on property, in order to feel like a Disney vacation, even though you're technically not on Disney property, you still need those touches. And that would be another top tip I would have, is to at least book one sit-down meal at one of the resorts and go to another resort and have quick service. One of our favorite quick service meals at one of the resorts is the Captain Cook's at Polynesian.
Tonga toast.
That breakfast slams. You guys, that breakfast is so good. We shared the Tonga toast. It's massive. The twins devoured their breakfast. They loved it. They had gluten-free waffles for my daughter. It was just a really good breakfast. And if it's nice outside, they have seating outside on the patio overlooking the pool. It's just a really nice quick service location, and they have a really good breakfast.
That's where that Trader Sam's, that other tiki bar for Trader Sam's is outside from over there.
Like, just research the resorts and look at some of the amenities that they have that you can really enjoy without having to worry about being an on-property guest. Do something to that nature.
Or do what best suits your family.
Yeah.
Also.
Find what fits you guys and take advantage of it, because you're going to want to. You know, eating at, McDonald's and burger joints on I-4 on International Drive isn't exactly, an ideal vacation. I mean, hey, whatever suits you. All right, Dan, you ready for the question?
Go ahead.
Would you recommend an off-property vacation to Disney?
Well, for people that don't want to spend the money on staying on property, yes.
Okay.
But me, being someone that likes Disney, I'm an on-property guy. I always have been and always will be.
Yeah.
It just makes the Disney trip better if you stay on property. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay. So I personally take advantage of things that come to me anytime that involves creating memories with my family. And this opportunity fell in our lap again, and I'm not one to let go of an opportunity. Dan knows that. I take advantage of every opportunity I possibly can get. So if something like this falls on your lap, yeah, take it for sure. Or like he said, if it's all you can afford, do it. Doing it is better than not doing it at all. But would we recommend it if you can't, if you can afford nicer? No. We love being on property. Like I said earlier, even if it's just the All-Star resorts, sometimes the All-Star resorts are cheaper than staying at an off-property resort. It really just depends.
Well, that was proven true when you were searching for the next trip.
Yeah. So, just keep that in mind. Yes, you're further out, but like we said, you have access to the buses, consistently. You don't have to wait for a specific time. And I've heard that the quick service breakfasts and dinners at All Stars are actually pretty good. So you got some good food there too. And The All-Star Resorts do a really great job of ambiance, like just the theming and the scale of their theming. They're really fun. They're really cool. So, you know, I would definitely recommend those.
Especially if you're like into sports like myself.
Well, there's an All-Star Sports,
Movies.
All-Star Movies, and then there's All-Star Music, which they have suites for bigger families. So just keep that in mind, y'all. Would I do it again, though? Would you do it again?
Probably not.
No?
No.
So, like, if we had the opportunity again, you wouldn't want to take it?
Mm-mm.
Aw, I'm sad.
Well, you know how I feel.
I know.
It's just not me.
I would do it again. Only because, for me, I just love to travel. I just love being there, and any chance I get to be down in Florida, I want to do it.
But obviously, I would have no choice.
He says he wouldn't do it again, but if I did it and we got down there, he'd enjoy it.
I would still have a good time, but it's not the same. That's all. It's just how I've been
I
my
know.
entire Disney career.
I would say, for the resort we stayed at specifically, the Cypress Point, I would do it again. I liked the
If
resort.
it was that one, yes. But anything else, probably not.
Well, you did say you want to stay at the Drury. You would like to
Well,
try that.
yeah.
Even though technically that's on property.
That's a
It is
Disney
technically
resort.
on property. I think that this specific resort was just really nice. It was great for families, and the location couldn't be better. Like, I don't think you could beat the location as far as being off property.
No, because it was literally minutes away from Disney Springs.
So if y'all are interested, go check out Cypress Point Resort. You can just Google it, it'll come up. And it seems like a very low-key, not popular place. But sometimes the underdogs are some of the best resorts. So Dan would probably not do it again. I would. Take that with what you will. Everybody has different opinions on things, and we figure it out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it was a lot of information. Leave a comment. Let me know if you have any advice or questions. I'd be happy to get back to you on that. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Happy planning and stay magical.